Hello, my name is Seth Ressler. I am the Digital Dot Connector here at Jacobs Media, and in this short video, I am going to show you how your radio station can use social media by sharing content that you create on your website as part of a content marketing strategy. And really what I'm going to illustrate here is the 411 social media rule that was popularized by Joe Paluzzi of the Content Marketing Institute, and show you how I think about that when I am sharing content for Jacobs Media. We use this strategy here at Jacobs Media. You can adapt it for your radio station as well, and we'll talk a little bit about how that's done. To really capture the power of social media and harness it for your radio station, you have to be creating content, continually putting up new content, new blog posts, videos, photos, podcasts, whatever it is. Think of it this way. You run a radio station, and you put content on that radio station. You put content on your airwaves. You put songs, you put DJs, you put morning shows, you put contests, that kind of stuff, right? And then you go out and you let people know about that content that you've got on your airwaves. You go out and you put a billboard up by the highway, for example, because you know that a lot of people drive down that highway and they'll see your billboard and then they will come back to your radio station. They'll tune in. Well, it's the same thing with your website. You've got to continually be putting content up on your website, except instead of songs and DJs, which you're putting up are blog posts and videos and podcasts and so on and so forth. And then you are going to share that content on social media, on social networks like Facebook and Twitter, because we know that a lot of people go to those social networks, right? So think of posting on Facebook like putting a billboard up by the highway. Same thing. You are promoting the content that you are putting on your website, just like you would promote the content that you put on your airwaves. So that's the basic principle. That's how it works. Let's talk about the specifics of how we share that content. What do we do? And I'm using a couple of tools here. You don't have to use these tools, but you can. First, we've got the Jacobs Media website, which is where we house our content. And then if I go up here, I'm going to show you the RSS Reader that I use. This is Feedly, and I'm using this to follow a number of influencers. And then I am using a tool called Hootsuite here. And Hootsuite is a great tool for sharing content out over social media. You don't have to use these tools. There are other tools that you could use in their place, but that's what I choose to use here, and it works well for us. So let's talk about Joe Paluzzi's 411 rule. The 411 rule basically says this, that if the only content you share over your social media networks, over your social media channels, and to your followers is your own stuff, you look bad. You look selfish. You look like, oh, this guy's just, self-promotional. Nobody likes that, right? So the best thing to do is to share other people's content as well and mix your own content in. And you do that in roughly a 4:1 ratio. And I say roughly, those aren't absolute numbers. That doesn't mean I only post 6 pieces of content to social media a day. It just, or even that I adhere that strictly to the rule. It just means most of what I share is actually other people's content, and then I mix our own content in. And 4 is sharing content of influencers. Other people who are also targeting your target audience, right? So for us here at Jacobs Media, who are the influencers? Well, the influencers are other people who are writing for the same target audience. Our target audience is radio broadcasters. Who else is creating content for radio broadcasters? And that could be industry news websites, like All Access, for example, or Inside Radio, things like that. It could be other consultants, clients, research firms that are creating content out there. It could be specific niche bloggers, the broadcast law blog that David Oxenford writes. It could be even, some podcasting blogs or some things that focus on specific niches there. And we'll walk through some of what we've got. But those are the influencers. So start by making a list of influencers and following their content. For radio stations, that could easily be people in the local market who are targeting the same people. Maybe local newspaper columnists, newspaper journalists, maybe the food writer in your local paper, local bloggers, maybe somebody's writing or blogging about the local music scene, local comedians, universities, schools, things like that. Local sports teams could be big. So make a list of people in your local market who have an audience and are creating content for the same audience that you are creating content for. And we're going to share that content. And the way I do that here at Jacobs Media is I use an RSS Reader. And if you're unfamiliar with RSS, think of it this way. An RSS Reader is kind of like a television set, and RSS feeds are kind of like cable channels that you can plug into that television set, right? So I can go to all these different influencers, I can go to their websites, and I can take their content using their RSS feed, subscribe to that RSS feed, plug that RSS feed into my RSS Reader, and pull them all into one place. So you can see here on the left, these are all the sources I am pulling content in from. So for example, the FCC blog, Blueberry, this is a podcast hosting company blog. Current Media, which focuses on public media, public radio, things like that. Edison Research, even a couple of Google alerts that we are pulling in here. So for example, I have a Google alert going for a connected car. Google alerts are great things because what'll happen is anytime a new piece of content is indexed by Google that contains that phrase connected car, it's going to be pulled in here. And some of this content is going to be relevant and some of it's not. What else do we have? Some of the other things that we've got Google alerts for. So what that allows me to do is to pull all of this influencer content into one place. So I come in the morning and I will just scan down the list and see what's going on. What content might be of interest to our followers. Some of it's not. Here's the music review for Warcraft. Probably not something that Jacobs Media clients and fans are interested in. But here's one. Is Spotify about to make you pay for big name releases? And you can see this is coming from the Google alert for music streaming. So I'll go in here and I will visit the website. And I might share this out. I'll take a quick look. And I think this might be of interest to our followers. So I will click my Hootlet button. And that opens up a window that allows me to share this content out. You can see I can share it. And we might share that right there. Might edit this a little bit. Something I often do is I will often look for the writer. So I will see can I find Alex Nelson. And can I find his Twitter handle? Follow me. There he is. Okay, found Alex Nelson's Twitter handle. I will copy that. I will go back to the original piece of content. We'll include his Twitter handle in the tweet. There he is. And now, when I share out his content, he's going to know that we're sharing out that content. So this influencer, and this is great for influencers that you don't know or don't have a relationship, they will now notice that you're sharing their content, and they may turn around and return the favor by sharing yours. And, we'll just auto-schedule that to schedule out. So that's how I go in and I share a piece of content. And again, I will just scan all the different headlines and look for interesting stuff. And as we find interesting stuff, I will share it out. And again, roughly 4 to 1 ratio. This is the 4, sharing other people's content out. So let's talk about the 1. Well, here at Jacobs Media, we publish a new blog post every single day. This is today's blog post. So I will go ahead and again, let's just share it out using Hootsuite. I might add a hashtag for radio here, and we'll go ahead and post it. Easy enough. So that first 1 in the equation is share your content, and this is content that is free, open, educational. You don't need to do anything to read this blog post. It's just useful to people out there. And what that does is that gets people, they will see this post on Facebook or on Twitter, they will click the link, and they will come back to our website. Now, that's the 4 and the 1. What about that last 1? Well, the last one is, at least in the social media rule, is a sales-related piece of content, right? But we don't really do that so much here at Jacobs Media. We don't say, "Hey, come hire us as a consultant." That doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. By the same token, I don't think it would make sense for your radio station, right? So you might share 4 pieces of content out from local influencers, 1 piece of content which would be your own blog post. What should that last piece of content be? I don't think it should be something that says, "Hey, advertise on our radio station," right? Because your followers are listeners. They're not necessarily potential advertisers. I think what that last piece of content is, instead of being a sales piece of content, think of it as a conversion piece of content, a converting, we're some sort of call to action where people are doing something that you want them to do as part of your digital media strategy. Here at Jacobs Media, what we want people to do, our conversion point, is we want to get people to sign up for our email database, right? So we have a number of pieces of content that are behind a form. So, for example, research results. Go in here, and if people want to see the results of Tech Survey 12, well, they've got to fill out a form, sign up for our email database. Right, so this would be that last piece of content that we would share out, the final one in the 411 equation, conversion content. For your radio station, it might be different. You may have several different conversion points or calls to action that you want to put out there as part of your radio station. For example, you may want to ask people to stream the station. You may want to ask people to enter a contest. You may want to ask people to sign up for your email list. Think about what those conversion points are. Maybe you want to ask them to buy tickets to your big station concert festival that's coming up, right? But whatever those are, that's going to be that last one in the 411 equation. So it might be, hey, we're giving away tickets to, the big band that's playing at the Palladium this weekend. Enter to win here. And then it's a link to a form that people can fill out to enter to win. Or buy tickets to our upcoming music festival here, and then it's a link where people can buy tickets, those conversion points. So you mix those in along with everything else. And so it allows you to, be self-promotional, but not overly self-promotional, because you are still sharing a lot of other people's content. So that's the basic gist of it. That's how the 411 rule works, and this is what I do every morning, is I spend about 20 minutes sharing other people's content and sharing our own content over social media, and that drives traffic back to our website. So I hope that's useful. I hope it gives an idea of what we're doing here, and good luck doing it with your radio station.